Imagine a country where cities are exceptionally clean, where trains arrive right on schedule, where people earn a good living without feeling the need to show off their wealth, and where nature can begin just 10 minutes from the city center. This country exists in Northern Europe, and it redefines what many people call quality of life. In international rankings published by organizations such as the United Nations and the OECD, Nordic countries like Sweden frequently rank near the top in terms of well-being, safety, and economic stability. This is not merely a tourist image, but a model that is often studied by economists and sociologists. Sweden is located in the northern part of Europe, on what is known as the Scandinavian peninsula. It shares a land border with Norway to the west and Finland to the northeast, while its southern region faces the Baltic Sea and Denmark through a modern bridge that connects the two countries. This geographical position has a direct impact on its economy. Its proximity to the Baltic Sea facilitates trade with several European countries, including Germany, Poland, and the Baltic states. The bridge, known as the Øresund Bridge, is more than just infrastructure. It is a symbol. It connects two highly developed economies and demonstrates how integrated the region has become in terms of transportation and commerce. It is also used daily by thousands of cross-border workers traveling between Malmö and Copenhagen, creating a truly transnational economic zone. When looking at a map, one quickly realizes something important. Sweden is a country that stands between vast natural landscapes and highly controlled urban development. This contrast can even be seen in the architecture, where modern city centers made of glass and steel are located only minutes away from forests, lakes, and completely natural environments. The population is around 10 million inhabitants. For a country of this size, that number seems relatively small. As a result, there is plenty of space, low population density, and a constant feeling of calm, even in major cities such as Stockholm and Gothenburg. This low population density also affects the housing market. Property prices can be very high in urban centers, but they become considerably more affordable once you move a short distance away from the city core. The official language is Swedish, a Germanic language closely related to English and German. In reality, however, English is everywhere. In everyday life, it is common to meet people who switch naturally between the two languages without difficulty. This is largely due to an education system that places a strong emphasis on foreign languages and exposes students to English from an early age. From a social perspective, Sweden is often associated with a model based on balance, strong public services, relatively high but well-organized taxation, and broad access to education and healthcare. This model is frequently compared to those of other European countries because it relies heavily on redistribution. The central idea is simple: reducing inequality rather than maximizing wealth gaps. When it comes to the economy and finance, Sweden operates according to a logic that differs from many other European countries. Income levels are high, yet there is relatively little social pressure to display wealth. Public spending is significant, but its results are visible in everyday life through reliable transportation, modern infrastructure, and highly advanced digital public services. It is also worth noting that Sweden relies heavily on export-oriented industries, particularly in engineering, green technologies, and high-precision manufacturing. Contactless payments have become the norm, and in some areas the use of cash is almost non-existent. It is a country where finance is discreet yet highly digitalized. In certain businesses, paying with cash can even be difficult because everything is designed around mobile applications and bank cards. A quick pause here. If you enjoy this kind of content about little-known countries or places that are often misunderstood, subscribe now and leave a like. I am preparing more videos about destinations where the way of life is completely different from what we usually see on the internet. When it comes to lifestyle, Sweden places a strong emphasis on work-life balance. Working hours are often more flexible than in many other parts of Europe, and the idea of constant overwork is generally less valued. The concept of fika, a social coffee break, is a good example of this culture. It is not simply a break but an important moment that structures the day and encourages social interaction. This approach also influences both mental and physical health. Sports and outdoor activities are deeply embedded in daily life, including walking, cycling, and spending time outside, even during winter. People adapt to the seasons rather than trying to fight against them. This adaptation is essential in a country where seasonal variations in daylight can be extreme between summer and winter. During winter, daylight can become very limited in some regions. This affects daily routines, and public infrastructure is designed to compensate for it through urban lighting, indoor activities, and flexible work arrangements. Certain northern regions experience periods during which the sun barely rises for several weeks. In terms of transportation, the railway network is highly developed and generally punctual. Trains efficiently connect major cities, while domestic travel is supported by a well-organized logistical system. Regional airports also play an important role in a country of such considerable size. Transportation is also closely linked to environmental initiatives, with a strong commitment to reducing carbon emissions. In the field of technology, Sweden is among the most advanced countries in Northern Europe. Digital systems are integrated into nearly every aspect of life, including banking, public administration, and healthcare. Many procedures can be completed online, significantly reducing traditional bureaucracy. The country is also an important hub for technology startups, particularly in payment systems, software development, and digital services. Sweden is also globally recognized for its contribution to pop music. Artists such as ABBA, Roxette, and Avicii have influenced entire generations and helped place Sweden at the center of the international music industry. Stockholm is often considered one of the world's leading capitals for modern music production. Regarding society, immigration remains an important topic. Over recent decades, Sweden has welcomed people from many different parts of the world, transforming certain cities into multicultural environments. This has created interesting social dynamics, but it has also generated debates about integration and the sustainability of the social model. These discussions regularly influence national politics and contribute to various social reforms. There is also an aspect that is often exaggerated online when discussing local people. In reality, what stands out most in Sweden is not a stereotype, but rather a strong sense of individual autonomy and a culture of social discretion. Privacy is highly respected, and social interactions tend to be more reserved than in many other European countries. As a luxury travel destination, Sweden is not a place defined by extravagance. Luxury here is minimalist: designer hotels, preserved natural environments, Nordic spas, and unique experiences in forests and archipelagos. The true luxury is space, silence, and tranquility. Many visitors come specifically for this feeling of complete disconnection from the pressures of everyday life. My personal analysis is simple. Sweden is not a country that immediately amazes visitors at first glance, but it is a country that functions according to a highly optimized logic. Almost everything is designed to reduce daily stress. This can feel unusual if you come from a more chaotic environment, but it can also be remarkably calming over the long term. It is also frequently cited as a reference point in studies concerning happiness and quality of life. A second call to action. If you would like to discover more little-known countries with completely different ways of life, be sure to watch the other videos on this channel. You may find destinations that completely change the way you think about work, freedom, and everyday comfort. To conclude, Sweden is a combination of technological modernity, structured social organization, and ever-present nature. It is not a country that tries to impress people, but rather one that functions with consistency and coherence. And that is probably its greatest strength.